Starting with West Virginia, what are your thoughts on, that performance and what that means going forward for us? Um, I'm talking like Abdul Carter kind of underperforming, everything about that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think the West Virginia game was. I thought we played really well on offense and defense, really, and we left points on the board too. And
mhm,
our defense pretty much shut them down. I mean, they passed the ball on us a little bit, but they couldn't really run on us. Abdul Carter, he's been getting double teamed. They know about him. Like every team knows about Abdul Carter, so they double teamed him against West in the West Virginia game, and then they double teamed him in the Bowling Green game. But
yeah,
he was making plays. It's taking him some time, but these teams are they're cooking up a game plan so Abdul Carter can't sack them. Is basically what they're doing. They're getting the ball out in 2.1 seconds at the Bowling Green game. So I mean,
yeah,
it's hard to get a sack like that. So far, I've been pleased. We got to be better on third down offensively. I mean, I think some of that has to do with the play calling too. When you run it on
yeah,
like third and 7 or third and 6, like I don't think you should ever run it on third and 6 or third. You're taking too much of a risk, like
yeah.
trying to get that. You know what I mean? If you only got 1 to 2 yards on the first two runs, why do you think you're going to get 6 or 7 on the third? I don't get it. So overall, play calling's been good on offense, but there's certain moments where I'm like, why?
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased. The Bowling Green game on defense, the first half was a fluke. I think we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Poor tackling and just didn't play with enough effort or confidence really, or they were overconfident, thinking we're going to
I think
smack
so.
Bowling Green, and it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
second half they tightened up. I do think we need to get Liam Clifford involved. Man, we heard all this talk about him. We got to get him. We got to get him
I know.
involved. They got to figure something out there. You got to get Julian Fleming involved. You got to scheme something up, because if you don't get them involved, then they know who we're giving the ball to. They know we're giving it to Tyler Warren or Harrison Wallace the third. I mean, Wallace was targeted in the Bowling Green game, but he didn't. He had that one catch, but it was a holding call or something like that. So,
Hmm.
and then he missed that one deep ball because it might have been a little short, but the defender made a good play on it too. So, but yeah, overall, pretty pleased. I'm not worried at all. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. West Virginia, I was really pleased with that. Like you said, we left points on the board 100%. That delay really killed that momentum, even though we came out and
Yeah,
smoked them. Uh, Overall, we definitely would have been putting up points, more points on that. We would have hit the over, no problem.
yeah,
So, overall, it was a good game, man. Like, the offense looked comfortable. The defense looked really good. You had Jalen Kimber with, the hot mic. Just overall, man, it was just enjoyable to watch. I like to see the competitiveness on defense. I like to see the execution on offense. The play calling is definitely an issue at times. I mean, it even happened during West Virginia where they're running like a draw run on 3rd and 8. I mean, you just can't have that stuff. But in their sets, I mean, they're 4-2-5 now. That's their defense. So um, I like it so far. Tom Allen's looking good. I mean, Tom Allen, pretty much what happened was he got smoked by his old quarterback, and that's fine. That quarterback definitely knew what he was walking into, I think. Tom Allen kind of knew what he was walking into. Uh, at the end of the day, we've talked about it. These college players, they're kids. I mean, they're like anywhere from 17 to 22. I mean, that's what were you doing when you were 17 to 22? You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
uh, so absolutely, there's that human element of they probably went into Bowling Green thinking they were just going to walk all over them, and then they got smacked in the face a little bit. Uh, yeah, Abdul Carter's getting double teamed. I mean, I think he's still easily a top 5 pick. He's a freak of an athlete. He moved positions. I mean, what do you expect from the guy um, playing football linebacker his whole career? Then he moves to DN. So obviously, uh, there's gonna be a change there for sure. Um, so overall, I think we're really they're gonna come back strong against Kent State.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, Bowling Green it was definitely a fluke game. There was just a lot of things I think they were holding back a little bit, which I understand to an extent, but you want to play your best guys, and then once they go up against an inferior team, then you pull them out. But I just want to see them go full force going forward. This whole, not going 100%. I understand not showing a lot on offense or defense, but you definitely need to beat up on these inferior teams. I mean, Bowling Green is an inferior team, no matter what. At the end of the day, they're an inferior team. We should be beating up on them, and that's it. So overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I'm not too worried about the Bowling Green performance. They're going to get a break, and then they're going to come back against Kent State, and then they go on from there. So yeah, overall, I would give the first two games. I would give the first two games like a B. And that's because like the performance against Bowling Green could have been better, obviously, but the offense, and like both games, they look great. The offense was not the issue against Bowling Green at all. And their mistakes, like the interception, was just kind of put in a magnifying glass and made to look more than it was because the defense wasn't performing and the score was close. So now they're up like 50-7, and Drew Aller throws an interception. It's like, oh, okay, like it doesn't really matter, but because it was so close, that happened. So yeah, overall, man, I'd say so far I give it a B. It's weird having a bye this early. I don't like bye weeks. I hate bye weeks for NFL and college, but it is what it is. But they get some rest. Literally, after Saturday, it's going to be Kent State week. So we'll be going that week with a game. So overall, that's my grade. I just think going forward, we really need to obviously tighten up overall. But if they're holding back, then they definitely need to change that mindset because it obviously didn't work.
I think the first game, if we were grading the game separately, I think the first game deserves an A, like just a solid A. And second game, I mean, I would almost grade the offense and defense separately because I want to not give the offense credit because, I mean, the running game was phenomenal. The passing game was explosive when it had to be. So I would give the second game like a B minus, because of the defense. If the defense played well, then an A again. So
yeah. So pretty much divide that down the middle. It's like a B plus. For your grade, which is totally fair. So yeah, I mean, just overall, man, like I haven't really thought too much about the Bowling Green game. I mean, I was mad. We were both mad, like when that game.
I was mad.
I mean.
Which most fans, the majority of fans are, So.
Absolutely, man. Like the fans are absolutely pissed.
Yeah.
So, and that's a obviously natural reaction. I mean, we weren't expecting that. I was like as a fan, I was like in a bit of shock. So, but overall going forward, man, we got Kent State, like I said, and then I think after that, we're going to be okay. My record hasn't changed. I think we're still going like 11-1, 10-2. I think we can beat USC on the road. Now, the thing is, what can happen is like we go to USC and we win. That's a huge win. We can't fall off after that. Like we have to keep it going. Same with, Ohio State. Like I think we can beat them, but we can't fall off. We have to be consistent going forward. And then if we get into the playoff, knock on wood, we do, and we get a high seed because I think this team easily can get a top 4 seed and be in the Big Ten championship hunt. We can't let the foot off the gas. Like we have to go all out. Like we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay on top of things. Like Ohio State, like they never take the foot off the pedal. Alabama never takes the foot off the pedal. Like these great teams, they don't take the foot off the pedal. They're consistent all year. So that's what we have to be 100%. So,
and we have a bye week after the USC game too. So that's our second. Ohio State has 2 bye weeks. A lot of teams right now have 2 bye weeks because we expanded our division. So
exactly.
I think a big thing right now on the bye week is getting guys healthy. I mean, KJ Winston, like we talked about, we know it's not long term. We don't think because James would have said something because he talked about Andrew Rappaway saying, I mean, he was in crutches on the sideline. So he's out for a while. We don't know how long, but a while. And then, which sucks because now Luke Reynolds needs to step up. And I think he can. It's just, you got to work his way in there. And Khalil Dinkins hasn't been full go yet. He played like 8 snaps against Bowling Green, which
Yeah.
is not very little. So got to get him fully healthy. But the KJ Winston, if he needs to get healthy, if he doesn't get healthy, we might be in trouble because he's one of our best players on defense. So we need KJ Winston back. So we'll just got to see if he can take it easy on this bye week and get back in the rotation. You don't even need to plan for Penn State, but it'd be nice to see that he's healthy for that. But if not, then we'll just play it by ear.
Well, I will say, while our schedule wasn't favorable, like Ohio State, they got a pretty favorable schedule. Our bye weeks are, so we get a bye week in week 3, and then we get a bye week right after USC. That's fantastic. We're gonna have a tough stretch of games there. Like the Steelers, they have like all their division games at the end of the year, and Hard Knocks is gonna be covering the AFC North, which is gonna be phenomenal to watch. Because overall, man, like that's a really good division. It's one of the best in the NFL. It's going to be a lot of drama there. The Steelers have never had Hard Knocks. They would never let Hard Knocks come in there. But I guess because it's the division, they probably didn't have a choice. But, like them, they got a tough stretch of games there. And that's where we always seem to lose either a game. Penn State always either beats a team that they don't beat a team that, they shouldn't beat, but they could beat, like Ohio State, Michigan, or whatever, and then they lose to like a Michigan State. There's always that like bit of going off the rails there at times during our season, and that can't happen. Now there is a little more forgiveness, obviously, with the new playoff setup, but overall, man, we just have to not, we just have to be consistent. Like we have to go into Kent State, beat them up, and then go into USC, Ohio State, Washington, UCLA, etc., and really be tough in those stretch of games. Stay healthy. That's very important, staying healthy. So overall, man, like for example, I don't care who you're playing. Abdul Carter got beat up in the West Virginia game. I mean, he got smacked on that like second play of the game. That guard pulled, hit him right in the face.
Yep.
And the offense last week, man, like those guys were hitting hard. Everyone was hitting hard in that Bowling Green game. So that takes a toll on your body. Honestly, it does. I mean, I played football. Like honestly, I remember Saturdays I'd wake up and I couldn't walk because you're so sore from the game, and we had no recovery back. And I didn't get in the ice tub or anything. You just went home. So obviously it's a little different in college and in the NFL, but there's going to be a lot of recovery. That stretch of games is going to be really important. I mean, I really hope that we come out on top, with a good record. I mean, it's obviously possible that we don't, but I'm still pretty optimistic that we're going to come out of that stretch of games with a good record, and we're going to get a good seed in the NFL, in the playoff, because this team, the way they performed against West Virginia, man, I think they're one of the best in the country. I really do. Regardless of whether West Virginia was either West Virginia's really bad, or we beat a good team, and we just, because if we performed against Bowling Green like we did, and then we performed like we did against West Virginia's really bad, but I don't think they are. We were juiced up for that game. It's a rivalry. It's a big game. It's on the road. It's an opener, and then they kind of like fell off a little bit against Bowling Green. So I'm still optimistic going forward. I don't think we're going to have any issues in terms of like, are we going to perform well against the teams that we're supposed to? And are we going to perform against the teams that are good? Nothing's changed for me. I still stand by what I predicted, and I still stand by the fact that I think we're a really good team, and we're going to end up with a good record. We could be one of the best in the country. So, I mean, Notre Dame, like, dude, we didn't even talk about this last time because it happened after we recorded, but Notre Dame lost. Alabama looked bad.
Yep.
Who else?
Oregon's on.
Oregon looked bad.
Dude. They might lose to Oregon State this week.
Literally everybody crowned Oregon the best team in the country. Like they were talking about Dylan Gabriel, how good he was.
Preseason, yep. And he's still Heisman watch. Why? Their team's not good.
I don't know, man, but they look bad. They look really bad.
Yeah, they don't look good.
So it's not just us. Unfortunately, it's not. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's not just us.